In my role, I design a lot. Well, I buy a lot of print. I spend about £500,000 a year on print in the UK only, and print makes up a lot of my displays in stores. So it is fragrance and department stores in the UK market, and I design permanent counters which have lots of Duratrans and show cards. I'll design promotional sites and pop-ups which have a huge amount of large format print wrapped to Foamex or printed direct to Foamex or flooring. And for me, really, I need to know what the developments are and what the technologies coming through are to really help my design process. For example, I could come here, 4 years ago I came to a FESPA and saw that you could print gold metallic inks, and it blew my mind, and I realised I could start my designs on a tester stand for a fragrance, for example. We use a lot of metallics in our branding. So I just think it's really important to see what's here. It inspires me. And it's something that I wouldn't get a lot of transparency from my printing companies. They wouldn't necessarily think to show me, look what I've seen, look at the new technologies, new materials, because they can't read my mind. I need to come and see it firsthand, which really inspires me. This time, I've seen some fantastic. One stand, which is an example, one stand who had a big LED screen, but they wrapped in PVC with a print on, which blew my mind. So you get that rather than having a really bright LED screen in a store environment that is really much too blinding. They wrapped it in a printed material that diffused the light, and I can't stop thinking about it. And lots of developments in printing on uneven surfaces and on uneven shapes really helped me in terms of something I'm going to do this year. And there's been a lot of talk about colour profiling. In my job, I might design a display site which I've got colours or model shots or bottle shots that have to be printed to about 7 different substrates, vinyl, direct-to-media, a paper, and they've all got to match because, obviously retail is detail. When we've got beautiful assets and beautiful artworks, if they don't match colour-wise, for me it's not good, and it's just not, we can't have that. So I'm really fascinated about colour profiling and the fact that a computer can take a colour and make sure printer, inks, paper, printing machine can all be calibrated well enough to make the same reproduction on different substrates. So that's going to be what I'm going to be working on this year. And a huge concentration for me at the moment, and certainly for the Clarins group, is ecologically sound production. And I know we can't be completely green, but I spend a lot of the company's money on backlit film. We're having our logo is changing completely this month, so in terms of the outlay on about 2,000 little A5 pieces of backlit film out in the field in the UK, I need to make an impact, or at least make less of an impact to the environment. So I've been really searching for a much greener substrate and a much greener printing process, and I found a product and found with latex print and with much less power used in terms of drying. So it's really, really, really useful. I think it's about being more communicative, really, and talking to the brands, which, we're not a dark art, printers aren't a dark art either. I think it's a question of making it clear that there are some solutions and there are some developments that the big brands like us can really benefit from. So I think it's about communication. I think it's wonderful. I think it's been such a welcoming environment. Everybody seems to be passionate about what they can see. I've never seen so many printing machines in one place before, obviously. It's fascinating, and there's a really lovely vibe, and the sort of entertainment and the part that for the exhibitors has just been really, really cordial and very welcoming, and I think it's just great. And I go to a lot of design shows and furniture shows, art shows, and there's not quite the vibe I found here, really. It's really, really friendly, and I love FESPA. Exactly, it's just that shortcut between having to find out things from our suppliers, which we wouldn't necessarily know that we'd want to know. It's just that shortcut finding out and then really being able to demand, for example, my real demand for ecologically sound processes and substrates. It's like if brands like us come to these shows and we can shout out and say, I'm really looking for a better way to print this, and the demands, it's almost like supply and demand then. So I think it's helpful both ways, in the same way as we see what the printers can do, we see what the manufacturers can do, which helps our design process. So it's really important.